Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I took an extended break away from YouTube, when my plate gets full, YouTube is the first to go. So it's been a while since I posted a video, but I had several people ask me about doing some like Pinterest type recipes. I gotta spit it out here, and do like a review on those. And I thought that would be a great idea, a great addition to the channel, because we all get in like a little, you know, a food rut, what we're going to cook for dinner rut, what we're going to cook for lunch rut, and I'm no different. I get in that same rut. So I've been going over Pinterest, and I found some very good recipes that I think that you're going to like. So we're going to try them, and we're going to see if we like them. If we like them, then you're going to get to see them. So this is... hopefully this is going to be a good one, so you'll get to see it. So this is a navy bean, ham, and potato type soup. I'm all about soup. You already know that. Okay, the recipe calls for 2 potatoes, or like 2.5 cups of chopped potatoes. I'm not going to use that many of them. I'm going to just half the recipe today because we have leftovers of all kinds of goodies in there, so I'm just halving the recipe for today. And I've got some navy beans here. The recipe calls for the cooked beans that you just open the cans, but these are the raw beans. I'm going to cook those. The time is going to be a little different from making this because, like I said, I am going to have to cook those. The recipe does not call for fresh garlic, but you know me, I got to have some fresh garlic to it. We're also going to use some onion, some celery. I've got some diced ham back there, some chicken stock, and some garlic powder, a little bit of thyme. The recipe doesn't call for minced onions, but you know I'm going to use that, and some carrots. Now the full recipe requires like 6, it calls for not 6, but 8 cups of chicken stock. If I'm halving it, it's only going to be 4, but what I think we're going to do is add maybe 6 cups to it because my beans are going to have to cook a little bit longer than what they would, you know, cook if you just use the canned beans. So we're going to pull this together. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started getting my beans on to start cooking, because they will take about 1.5 to 2 hours to cook. So while those are getting started, then I'm going to go ahead and chop my veggies. We're going to go ahead and add our beans to the pot here. These have already been washed, and I've looked for, you know, little rocks that go in there when they're harvesting them. So I'm going to add some chicken stock, and these cans are, I thought I had more chicken stock than this. These are 14 ounces, so it's really, I'll probably end up adding some water to it and then some chicken bouillon, because I definitely want these beans to be nice and you know, have a lot of juice with them. Now the recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. I'm halving the recipe, so we're just going to do 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, just 1/4. And it also calls for 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, so I'm going to use 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And like I said, it does not call for minced onions, but y'all know me. Y'all know me already. Who are we kidding? Probably going to use a good 1/2 teaspoon of those as well. I'm going to add some crushed black pepper. Look at that. Got my pepper mill. Got my pepper mill fixed. Got my pepper mill. It's funny. And that was, I got those peppers for Christmas. Isn't that funny? We're going to put quite a bit in here, because my son said he got tired of seeing me complaining about not having peppers for my pepper grinder. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my diced ham. Now the recipe, original recipe calls for you to use like your a ham bone. If you have a ham bone left over from Christmas, I would recommend that you go ahead and do the full recipe. I don't have a ham bone left over from Christmas, but I do have some leftover diced ham. So I'm going to go ahead and toss that in there. I'm going to give this a stir. I'm not going to add any additional salt at this point because the chicken stock is salty. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to turn it down. Just put the lid on a jar and let it simmer away, probably for a good hour before I add my other veggies. Okay, this has already been cooking probably for about 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my chopped vegetables in there. And this is just about 3/4 cup of celery, carrots, and a small onion, and of course 2 cloves of garlic. Now I haven't cut my potato up. I'm going to put that in last. I'm going to put that in about the last 30 minutes of cooking time because potatoes get too soft. Smelling good already. I'm going to go ahead and cover it again and bring it back up to a boil and let it cook probably about another 30 to 45 minutes. All right, I let this cook for about another 45 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and add my diced potatoes in there. Now this is just 2 small potatoes. Let's give it a stir. Now I'm going to put the lid back on it and let it cook probably for about another additional 20 minutes or so, just until the potatoes are nice and soft. So from start to finish, this soup actually took several hours to make, and the reason is because, like I said, I used the fresh navy beans instead of, you know, like the canned beans that the recipe called for. I did taste it right before I put my potatoes in, and I felt that it needed just a little bit something extra, so of course I put a couple tablespoons of bacon grease in it, because you gotta have bacon grease in it when you cook beans. Now I'm excited to try it. I've never had bean soup with potatoes in it. It's really tasty. And it's hot. The beans are nice and soft. Carrots and potatoes are nice and soft. A little bit of thyme gives it a little different flavor. I never put thyme in my normal soup beans. It's got a nice hammy flavor. Definitely screaming comfort. This is very good. I'd definitely make it again. Like I said, I would definitely use a little bit of bacon grease to go in with it, a couple tablespoons of that, because you got to season your beans. I hope you like this review. I plan on doing many, many more of them. We all get in a rut when it comes to cooking. I get in a rut. You get tired of eating the same things. You get tired of eating the same things, Olivia? She said, you know I love you guys very much. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Take care.